Hey, this, and I'm just making this video for the hell of it. Okay, let's start. First of all, I just saw a series of videos, people saying something about who killed gaming or ruined it. And first and foremost, gaming is on the decline. Just to let everybody know. This is, and all you have to do is just look to the whole generation. The only time that consoles were really big was probably the second, maybe the third, and I believe the fifth generation of gaming consoles. I'll put a link on all of them. And if you look at this generation of console, there's only three major consoles, just three: Wii, Xbox 360, and PS3, and that's it. So yeah, gaming has kind of been on a put on a decline for a while, and it's mostly due to the fact that everybody else has seemed to have forgotten how to make a decent console, especially Sega. Or when they came out with a console, like the 3DO industry, yeah, let other people make your console and then price the whole thing at $700. Brilliant, 3DO. You became nothing after that clusterfuck. You became nothing more than a software company, and now you're bankrupt. I'm serious. Just do a search for 3DO on the Wikipedia, and you will see what happened to the 3DO company. There ain't nothing left. And then you got one company, Atari, who came up with the the second only U.S. made console next to the Xbox 360 that has been, selling so well. And that's the 2600. And after the 2600, it seems that Atari just, well, forgot how to make a fucking console. Because then they made the 5200, which was a complete train wreck, the 7800, kind of a train wreck. Then they made another console after that, and then eventually they just ended up making the Jaguar 3D. I mean, the Jaguar, along with the Jaguar CD. And then you got Sega, after Genesis. And then they ended up making the Saturn, then the Dreamcast. Of course, they made a host of other little consoles in between. The Dreamcast was good, but they shouldn't have stuck with the CD format. That was a bad idea. Atari is now owned by a French company, and all they do is make mobile games. And Sega is nothing more than a software company who's in danger of filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy now, from what I understand. Yay. So, yeah, there's a big dwindle in games. And yeah, I know PC's there, and then there's this whole online streaming, but you know what? Streaming just isn't going to be as big as huge as it is until like maybe 20 or 30 years, maybe even 40 years from now. Mainly, there's just one little problem. Not everybody has fast internet. In fact, there's a large group of people who are still stuck with 56K modems. So, yeah, it's going to be a while. My other problem is that I saw Samuel Tech Geek's little video on it saying, like, oh, you're afraid of change and all that. Okay, Sam, you're talking to a guy and telling him he's afraid of change when, everybody knows you hate the Nintendo Wii U and you discard every rumor and everything about a new Xbox or PS4. Or, I mean, well, basically, you just discard it outright, and then you come up with one excuse after another that they're either going to wait until 2014 or never going to happen at all. Sam, technically, that video made you kind of a hypocrite. Yeah, I know I'm going to hear from him later, but he keeps telling me over Skype his Xbox 360 is the best console ever, so nothing's going to change that, right, Sam? Eventually, Sam, you're going to have to understand you're the person who's afraid of change. I mean, at some point, the Xbox 360 And the PS3 is going to become so old and so useless that they're going to have to be replaced. In fact, they're almost there right now. And you're just going to have to go get a better system from those two companies, Sony and Microsoft, and even Nintendo, because it's just the way it goes. I mean, the PlayStation 2 finally is no longer really being sold much of anywhere. It's extremely hard to find PlayStation 2s now. But eventually, it's going to be time to, to give that final salute to your Xbox 360 and get a better system at some point. As for me, I welcome the next gen. Not like you, who bashes everybody who says, hey, the next gen's coming soon. Seriously, Sam, you gotta stop bashing people who keep saying the next gen's gonna probably happen soon. Oh yeah, and also Apple's not gonna come out with a gaming console. Every year there's a rumor that Apple's gonna come out with a gaming console, except when they actually did, and that was the Apple Pippin, and it flopped. Apple's never gonna come out with a gaming console. Come on, people. Yeah, I know they talked with Valve. So the fuck what? There's going to be no Pippin 2 or no Apple gaming console. Instead, they're just going to use that stupid Apple TV and say, you can stream your content from your iPod, from your iOS device onto this. It's kind of like playing a game, sorta, even though it has no hard drive and no real physical way of doing anything else. No controller, no disc. But you can stream your multimedia stuff, and that's it. And Netflix. Even though all the other gaming consoles can do this and well, also play games, they have more functionality than the Apple TV. Or basically more features than Apple TV. So, yeah, Sam, the next gen is going to hit, and it's going to eventually hit you at some point, and you're going to have to take that Xbox 360 and put it to the side and get something new, depending if Sony actually does come out with a good console, because this gen sucked. I'm just hoping next gen will be a lot more better. From what I'm seeing with the Wii U, it is looking a little better. I mean, yeah, I hate that name, and most people are complaining about where the thumbsticks are located. They don't like them at the top, which is probably Nintendo will probably put them at the bottom and then change the Wii U's name to something else. But everything else, people really aren't really complaining that much, except for that whole USB 2.0. Yeah, most people seem to want 3.0. Well, that's it.